welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jacqueline and I make new videos every week on a whole variety of things, lifestyle, beauty, adventure, all sorts of fun stuff. So I hope you'll subscribe and join our little adventure family here. And today I have, in my opinion, a very exciting video. I have my ordinary 30-day skincare test. I know I've talked about it throughout a few vlogs that I did have one coming, and today is that day. So I have a whole bunch of notes. Tahoe's sleepy, he wants to cuddle. I'm still not feeling 100% from my little stomach bug that I had, but I really wanted to get this video filmed, so yeah, let's just jump right in. So I started the skincare test on the 5th of December of last year, and I'll kind of get into like timelines here in a second, but I wanted to first of all show you the products and tell you a little bit about them. So these are the 3 ordinary products that I bought. I have the Hyaluronic Acid here, the Niacinamide, and the AHA BHA Peeling Solution. So this is the packaging they come in, super simple, super plain, and that's part of what keeps the Ordinary's costs so low, is that, you know, they don't spend money on like crazy packaging or anything crazy. It's really just making quote unquote good products. So they all come in these really cute little white boxes. They look really like chemical and like, you know, clean, like you would find them at like a spa or something, I don't know, like, or a chemist office. And they all come in these little glass bottles with droppers like this. So it's kind of fun, you know, they're really nice to like look at. Not that that matters that much to me, but you know, if that's something you care about, they do look really cute like on your shelf and stuff. So they all just look like that. And then the peeling solution is like this really cool bright red color. It's actually kind of fun to put on your face because it's such a cool color. So that is the packaging. So I just want to talk a little bit about each product. So the first product I really want to try, this is kind of the reason I wanted to test the Ordinary, was the Niacinamide 10% plus zinc 1%. And so I did some research. I've talked about this in other 30-day skincare tests. I'm not a dermatologist. I'm not an esthetician. I'm someone who loves skincare, and I tend to do a lot of research before I try new things. So this is just the research I found online. Obviously, you can do your own research, consult your dermatologist, your esthetician, whatever you want to do. This is just what I found online and through my own research and through YouTube and stuff like that. I've done a ton of research on this stuff. But once again, I'm not an esthetician. I'm not a dermatologist. So, you know, you do with that what you want. So what I found is that this is a form of B3. Niacinamide is a water-soluble vitamin that works naturally with your substances on your skin. So it's supposed to help improve pore size, uneven skin tone, fine lines and wrinkles, dullness, and weaken surface. So it's supposed to help hydrate your skin as well. It supposedly works for most skin tones. It's great for dry skin. Or most skin types as well as skin tones, but it also is supposed to help with environmental damages, and it is generally good with all other products. Now the Ordinary one does say not to use it with a vitamin C serum. It says specifically, let me see if it says on the box. I know online it says specifically not to use it with ascorbic acid, which is what most vitamin C's are formulated with. It doesn't say that on the box, so it just says it. If you look it up online, it just says that online. So I find that a little weird that it doesn't say it on the box, it just says it online. But most niacinamides work fine with every other product, and what I found was that it's kind of an old way of thinking that niacinamide and vitamin C can interact, but basically what I found is that most research finds that it only affects each other if they're combined at extreme heats and extreme amount of sunlight for a long period of time. So basically your ordinary everyday life, they shouldn't interact, but the Ordinary does specifically call that out as something not to do. So that's just what I kind of found on this product. So that's kind of everything you kind of need to know about niacinamide. Obviously, there's definitely more out there about it, but generally, I was hoping that this would help with my hyperpigmentation, the redness I get on my skin, and just kind of calming down any inflammation, any pimples that I do have at that time, as well as giving me a little bit of extra hydration to go with my hyaluronic acid. So that's what I was kind of hoping for with this product. So then I also got the hyaluronic acid 2% plus B5. So what hyaluronic acid does, I love hyaluronic acid. It's one of my favorite products to incorporate into my skincare routine because hyaluronic acid is something that's found naturally in your skin's barrier. It holds like 1,000 times its weight in water. So it's a really amazing humectant that will pull the moisture from the atmosphere into your skin and just really plump up your skin and make it nice and hydrated. Hyaluronic acid in your body and in your skin naturally decreases as you get older, so it's great to, you know, incorporate some hyaluronic acid into your skincare routine as you get older. It's generally good with most other products. Sodium, I found out that sodium hyaluronate absorbs more easily, which is the only form of hyaluronic acid that is in the ordinary product. There is other types of hyaluronic acids out there. So some products use 2 types. This one just happens to only use sodium hyaluronate. I'm not a chemist either, so I don't know, you know, what that all means and stuff like that, but that's what they use in this. I do use hyaluronic acids in my daily life. I still use one now, and I just love hyaluronic acid, so I wanted to give this one a try. I know how hyaluronic acids react with my skin, so I knew I was probably gonna be okay with this one, but we'll get into that as well. All right, and then the last product I picked up was the Ordinary's, obviously, AHA 30%, BHA 2% peeling solution. So this is a combination of alpha and beta hydroxy acids, both of which are chemical exfoliants that are used to kind of slough off that outer layer of dead skin and just really reveal some new skin and exfoliate your skin on a chemical level instead of using harsh little scrubbies and stuff. So I prefer a chemical exfoliant. I've never used one this strong before though. So the AHA is a water soluble thing. BHA is a fat soluble one. So this most AHAs you find will be like glycolic, lactic acid, that kind of stuff, and BHA is salicylic acid. So this is a little bit of both, I believe. I don't remember which ones this one has in it though. I'll pop it up on the screen, but so this one has a combination of glycolic, lactic, tartaric, and citric acids for the alpha hydroxy acids, and then the beta hydroxy acids is obviously that salicylic acid. So basically this is supposed to help diminish fine lines and wrinkles, make your skin look and feel firmer, hydrate, improve dull, uneven skin tones, and improve rough and bumpy skin. So I was hoping that this would kind of help once again to lighten my hyperpigmentation, which is what I find most peeling solutions do for me, and just kind of have something to use as more of an intense peel than my normal exfoliating serums that I've used before. So this tells you to use it on dry skin and to leave it on for a max of 10 minutes. Don't get in contact with your lips or eyes, and to be careful around like any broken skin. So if you have like a pimple you popped or a scab or anything, to be careful with it on those things, but you don't want to leave it on for any more than 10 minutes. So that's kind of the overview of these products and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to get into me applying them on my skin here in a second. But first of all, I want to tell you how I decided to use these as first. So the niacinamide, I should like keep these in a correct order so this is easier for me. The niacinamide, I know it said not to use with the vitamin C, but I decided to do half the skincare test in the beginning. I'm going to use that morning and night just to kind of see how it reacts with the vitamin C, if I get any irritation, stuff like that. because the vitamin C I use doesn't use L-ascorbic acid as their form of vitamin C. So since the Ordinary specifically called that one out as not to use with it, I thought maybe I could try it and see what happened with my vitamin C and go from there. So I decided to use this morning and night at the beginning, and I will share with you what happened in a little bit, but that's how I decided to use it. I used it after my vitamin C and after my retinol. So my vitamin C in the morning, and then I would use this, and then at night I would use my retinol, and then I would use this before any of my creams or anything, because this is water soluble. I didn't want to put it on after my creams because it wouldn't be able to penetrate any of that. And then I did not use this on nights. I used the peeling solution because I found that niacinamide supposedly isn't too great with that. So I just used this on nights I was not using the peeling solution. The hyaluronic acid I used every day, morning and night. Hyaluronic acid, once again, goes great with everything. So I used it when I was using the peeling solution, when I wasn't, morning, night. And I used it with the niacinamide. So because they're kind of like droppery, really liquidy solutions, you'll see in me using them here in a second that I kind of mix them together and just use them at once. And it wasn't a big deal. So that's kind of how I used this guy. And then for the peeling solution, I used it twice a week. I would use it on a Wednesday and a Sunday, so I kind of split them up so I wasn't exfoliating my skin too much, but I did want to see, you know, what I could get out of it in a short amount of time without over exfoliating my skin. So I did it twice a week. Depending on your skin type, you can exfoliate usually like 1 to 3 times a week. I have dry skin, so I like to exfoliate a little bit more. I know sometimes that can cause even more dryness, but I find that my skin likes to be exfoliated, and that kind of helps my skin not be as dry. So that's how I used this guy. So I'm going to get into me putting all this stuff on my face and showing you how I use it right now. Okay, so it's the first morning I'm using the Ordinary. Like I probably said in the intro, I am going to use the niacinamide for now with the vitamin C and see how it works, because my vitamin C isn't formulated with L-ascorbic acid. It's formulated with a different form of vitamin C. And I've done a ton of research. Most everyone says that it's okay. The research that everyone is like scared about is from like decades ago, and it's been disproven. And it's like, as long as you're not out in like crazy high heats for extended period of time, you'll be okay. So I'm gonna try it. If I do have a reaction or something, I will stop and I'll just use the niacinamide at night. But I figured I would show you me using them for the first time. I did use the niacinamide and the hyaluronic acid last night. So I kind of have a few thoughts, but I'm gonna wash my hands first and then start in on my daytime skincare routine. I'll leave a link to my daytime skincare routine as well if you just wanna go watch that. But yeah, I'm excited to incorporate these into my morning and night routine. So I'm going to just kind of do what I would normally do. So I just usually use my micellar water in the morning. And then I think the order I'm going to do it is I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to use my vitamin C, and then I'm going to use the niacinamide, and then the hyaluronic acid, my face cream, my SPF. So I think that's what I'm going to do. If you're curious about the vitamin C I use, I've talked about this many times. It's always in my empties. I actually have a different 30-day skincare test on this as well. It's the Mad Hippie Vitamin C Serum. I love this stuff. It's my favorite. So good. And it doesn't make me break out or, have any adverse reactions. I did not wait long enough. My skin was not dry. Okay, it's fine. This vitamin C does have some hyaluronic acid in it too, so it's always good. All right, so now time to go on to the Ordinary. So I'm gonna do the niacinamide first. The first thing I noticed about this is it's very like jelly liquidy. It's like kind of a thicker liquid, and it does have a pretty like gross like odor. So if you're like don't like things to smell funny, you might not like this product, because it is just niacinamide and I think zinc, right? This one has zinc, yeah, and zinc. It does absorb really quickly though. It doesn't feel you like doesn't leave you feeling like sticky or like wet or anything like that. It absorbs pretty quickly, but it definitely does have kind of like a metallic-y smell, which probably is from the zinc. But I mean, it doesn't like linger for super long. Like I can still smell it now, but it's not like, I can't smell like on my face. Like if I sniff my hands, I can smell it, if that makes sense. And the hyaluronic acid is a lot thinner of a consistency than I'm used to. Oops. My CosRX one was a lot thicker and more of like jelly. This one's definitely like a thinner consistency, but it still feels really good. Definitely doesn't feel like as luxurious almost as the CosRX one. And the CosRX one isn't even that expensive for how much you get. This one does absorb quicker, I think. Like it doesn't, because it's not quite as thick. It definitely feels like it absorbs a little bit better. So this is what my skin looks like right after I applied it. Definitely have like a nice glow going on. But my face now after all 3 serums feels like sticky. I don't know if you can like tell. It feels sticky though. So I don't know. So far, it's not like the greatest, like it's not a bad experience. Like I don't dislike using them, but it's also not like the most luxurious, amazing feeling products, if that makes sense. I'm gonna do a little bit of oil on my skin too. But yeah, so those are the 3, or the 2 I'm gonna use day and night. And then the AHA, BHA, I'm just gonna use twice a week. I think I'm gonna do it on Saturdays and on Wednesdays. Sorry, I'm noticing like I'm pilling a little bit, like there's some pilling going on. Not sure why, but it happened last night too. So we'll see, maybe it's just like too much. I need more sunscreen than that. That's not enough sunscreen. But like it didn't feel like I was pilling like everything up. It was just, I could tell like there was a little bit of pilling going on. Especially the more I rubbed things in, the more it felt like it was pilling up. So it's something to keep in mind too. Because you have to layer on things. I think that's probably why it pills. Because you do have to layer things because it's all like that's not one serum. I think what I might try to do after today is combine them. So that way I only have to do like one step. So do the niacinamide and hyaluronic acid together. But I just wanted to show you like the consistency and how they felt separately first before I started doing that. So, all right, day 1, morning in the books. I'll update you as I go, you know. I'll do like a midway 30-day check-in and then obviously a 30-day. So yeah, that's it. Okay, I did want to do like a 15-day little check-in for my 30-day skincare test. So it's been about 15 days since I started it. I already have my skincare on, so I do have some sunscreen on, so it might be like dulling down whatever's on my face. But actually, my face is looking pretty good. I do have a couple breakouts. I think it's because I ate something I shouldn't have eaten. Whoops. Otherwise, it's looking really good. I have had some struggles with like order of application and stuff, and I'll explain that like at the end. I'm still kind of experimenting, but so far so good. Yeah, and I'll check in with you guys on day 30. Okay, so it's been almost a month and a half since I started using the niacinamide and hyaluronic acid and stuff, and I keep getting breakouts down here. And I've been doing some research, and some people do have adverse reactions to niacinamide. And so I think what I'm going to do is, for the last few days of this experiment, I'm going to stop using it and see if this all goes away. Because if it does, then I know that that's what's breaking me out. I really wanted to like it, but we'll see. So I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to give it a few days here without using it and see what happens. But yeah, that's kind of my plan. So I just want to give you an update. I also been really dry. I'll insert a clip here of how dry my skin has been. But yeah, so I guess I'll just check in with you guys next week and when this video is all over. So you just saw me use all this stuff and how I was going to use it. So I'm going to kind of go through each one now and share with you before and afters and my kind of thoughts on all this. So let's start with the niacinamide. So like I said, I started this process on the 15th of December. And I stopped using everything on the 13th. So that was about a week ago now. And I'll put in some before and after photos from when I started this until a week ago. And then also I will put in before and after from a week ago till now. And you will see a crazy difference between a week ago and now. And I really think that these products just did not work for my skin. I don't know what it was, but they did not work. I had some major breakouts. And I honestly think it was probably the niacinamide. Unfortunately, I'm one of the few people who seem to have a reaction to this niacinamide. It might just be this particular product, however, because I know I've used other products with niacinamide in it, like my husband's sunscreen has niacinamide in it, and my skin does fine with that. I really think it was just this. I also stopped using it halfway through the test. I stopped using this in the morning. I would just use it at night, and I still was getting breakouts, and I was still getting red bumps, and a lot of them, like right in here where I normally get my breakouts, I was still getting so many of them, and I really think it was a niacinamide. So I stopped using it a week ago, and I'll put those pictures in now, and obviously my skin looks a lot better already, and that's the only thing I changed was to take out this ordinary stuff. So I was really hoping that this would, calm all that, but it just really irritated my skin, and I did not like it. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about it in a future video, but I think I'm going to use this in a different way, and I'll explain that more in a new video. But even changing it to once a day, this just did not work for my skin, and I think you should proceed with caution. Because I think one of the things that can be good and be bad about The Ordinary is that because they're such specific products with so few ingredients, that it's hard to know if you're using it correctly and if you're using it in the right order, and if this particular product will work well with your other products, because it's such a specific thing that you're kind of having to be a chemist on your own, and that's can be a little bit daunting and irritating. So the niacinamide didn't work for me. It's not my favorite. I personally would pass on this. There are other products with niacinamide in them that are formulated to work on multiple levels. I think you're probably better trying one of those. So the niacinamide, I know this is like a cult favorite and people love it, but I just don't. And I just don't think it worked for my skin. So might be an unpopular opinion, but it really made me break out. I mean, you'll see in the before and after pictures that it did not work for my skin at all. Even, like I said, switching to just once a day and not using it with the vitamin C, I don't think that was the issue. I think it was this. All right. So the hyaluronic acid, I wanted to like this hyaluronic acid because it was a fairly cheap form of hyaluronic acid. but I just don't think it was hydrating enough for my skin type. I think maybe if you had oilier skin and you just need a little bit of extra hydration, because obviously if you have oily skin, you still need to hydrate your skin. That's still super important. But if you have super dry skin like I do, like I think I took a video of it, I started to flake even still using this, and like my other hyaluronic acid serums, I can get the hydration I need and not be flaky. And that's the only thing that changed in terms of like my hydration. I was still putting all of like my good creams and stuff on, but I changed my hyaluronic acid serum and I started getting really, really flaky. So I really wanted to like this, but it was just not hydrating enough for me. It kind of felt like it absorbed so quickly that I needed to put like almost a second layer on or something. And then I couldn't get my cream on quick enough to kind of lock in that hyaluronic acid like I wanted to. It's just like a super runny formula. I kind of like a little bit thicker of a hyaluronic acid, and it just wasn't hydrating enough for me. I think there are better ones out there. I love the COSRX X one. I talked about it in the skincare products I always go back to help my skin, which I'll leave that up in the, I don't know which corner it is, up in the corner and down below in case you're curious about that. But it just wasn't enough for my skin type. So unfortunately, I will not be going back to this. There are other hyaluronic acids I like, and that's kind of how I feel on that guy. All right. And then the very last product was the peeling solution. So this is kind of the one bright star for me, semi. So this is definitely the strongest peel I've ever used. I have used the Mad Hippie exfoliating serum, and actually that's going to be the exfoliating serum I go back to now that this skincare test is over. I have a whole, I think, 60-day skincare test on that one, and I'll leave that video up in the corner down below in case you're curious about that. But that's a leave-on solution, and this is more of like a mask and like a peeling, like a true peeling solution, where the other one was just an exfoliating serum. So it's definitely the strongest one I've used. I definitely experienced some tingling and kind of some itching feeling for the first like minute or two when I used this, but because I had used other exfoliating serums, my skin was pretty used to it after like a minute or two, and I could leave it on for the full 10 minutes. But I don't think I would use this as like my regular weekly exfoliator. I think I'm going to keep it and kind of use it as like a special treatment or a mask. I just think for my skin type, it was a little too harsh to use twice a week. I would rather save this for, you know, like a special event that I really want my skin to be really nice and smooth and even. I would use it then, but I don't think as an everyday, not an everyday, as a weekly exfoliating treatment that I use twice a week, this is not the product for me personally. I don't think it was bad. It was definitely my favorite one out of everything I've tried from this line. Out of all the like cult sort of favorites from The Ordinary, this one's definitely my favorite. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna move it to my like mask area and kind of use it more as a mask than like a weekly exfoliating treatment, if that makes sense. I just don't think that this is the right product for like a weekly. It's like too strong almost. It'd be better if, you know, you had like a lot to get off. Using it that often just I don't think is necessary. But I did enjoy this. And yeah, definitely keep using that. So that's kind of my thoughts on The Ordinary products. Like I said, I know people love The Ordinary, and I really wanted to like it too because the price point is so great. It's not super accessible. I found all these at my local Ulta, but it's definitely getting more accessible to find. I know that Sephora carries it too. My local Sephora didn't have any of it, so I was lucky enough to find it at Ulta. But if you can find them, I mean, like I said, I think it's hard with these products because they're not formulated for a specific skin type or formulated in a way that you can just use them on their own. You almost have to mix them with other things to be able to get the results you want. And I think that can cause a dangerous situation for your skin, because you might be mixing things that aren't going to work together for your skin. And I think it's just hard. I think for me, I'm better sticking with things that I know are formulated for my skin and are going to do what I need them to do because they're formulated that way, instead of trying to mix things together to get what I need, if that makes sense. So yeah, unfortunately, this was a pretty dud 30-day skincare test for me. Fortunately, though, my skin didn't take that hard of a hit. It's already looking a lot better. But yeah, I really want to like it, but I can't personally say, yes, you should go and get the ordinary stuff. I know there are people out there, like I said, who love it and probably are like, yeah, go get it. It's amazing. The price point's great. But for me, I just don't think it's worth even wasting the little bit of money that it does cost. It just wasn't worth it for me. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. If you guys have other opinions, or, you know, you've had great results with these, what did you do to get great results? I would love to know. What did you do to make this stuff work for you? Or if you have other products from The Ordinary that you love, maybe I will try one of those out in the future. But yeah, I would love to know your thoughts. Please leave them in the comments. I'm always open to, you know, learning new things. Maybe I got some stuff wrong. I don't know. Like I said, not a chemist, not a skincare esthetician, not a dermatologist, anything like that. So I would love to, you know, get any education I can further. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to join our little adventure family. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. I will see you in my next adventure. Bye.